When Buddy came home from school, Buddy accidentally found a wallet on the side of the road. With trembling hands, he took the wallet and slowly opened it. Woody is an honest child. After finding the wallet, he took the initiative to take the wallet to its owner, and it turns out that the owner is just different block with him. Let's call the owner as Pa Amin. Woody came to Pa Amin. Assalamualaikum Pa Amin. Pa Amin answered, Waalaikumsalam. Woody, please come in. If you can find out if there is a need, what do you want? Woody. Well, Pa Amin, after school, Woody found a wallet. Woody opened it. Was Pa Amin ID card. That's why Woody is here to return it. Pa Amin answered. Masya Allah, your head is very noble, son. I just got home from the shop. I didn't check my wallet. I lost it. But, Pa Amin, try push to John. If it's still mine, I'll definitely find it. It turns out that the one who found you would. Would answer. Alhamdulillah. You can check your this wallet first. Pa Amin said. Alhamdulillah, everything is complete. But there are a few strange things. Why is it strange, Pa Amin? Pa Amin answered. As I recall, after returning from the shop, I got 200,000 rupiah then 100,000 in 2 pieces. Why is this so strange? Why is it all 20,000? But the total is the same, 200,000, not reduced in this like this. Oh yes, I did exchange it at the shop next door. The problem is that when Buddy found Buddy wallet at the school, and then Buddy returned it, my teacher said that, sorry Buddy, I don't have any small change. And then now, before I give it back what to you, I changed the money first so you can have small change, right? Oh, you are such a clever boy, Buddy.
A very stingy father was invited by his beloved son to ride a helicopter. At first, the father did not agree because he had to pay, but because he loved his son, he agreed. After arriving at the helicopter, the pilot said, "We will pay $100 if you talk about. You will be fined $500. But if you don't say a word, I will give you $1,000. Okay, the father said. After agreeing to the agreement, the helicopter is flown by the pilot by means of maneuvers and somersault above. After landing, The pilot said to the father, "Wow, you're great. You don't even say a word." The father said, "Actually, I want to talk earlier, but I was afraid to getting been fined." "What do you want to say?" asked the pilot. "My son fell," replied the father. So the, the son fell from the helicopter and the father that say a damn thing because the father afraid must be paid to the pilot.
Creative kids. Mom, at school, I was able to answer the teacher's question. Mom said, "Oh yeah, that's great. That's mama boy." What did the teacher ask? The teacher asked, "Who fought?" And I answer, "It's me, ma'am." Hmm. The mother looked confused and laughed. Photos on wallet. There's a husband who is in his wallet is a photo of his wife. When his friend saw him, he was praised as a very good husband. Then, one of his friends asked what his function was to carry a photo of his wife. He replied, "If I have a problem at work, I always look at the photo and the problem at hand is just disappears." Wow, how happy you are to have a wife like that. How can that be? Asked his friend. The husband replied back, "Yes, if I look at the photo of my wife, all the problems in the office become nothing compared to the problem with her." A taxi passenger tapped the driver's shoulder because he wanted to ask. Instead, the driver screamed, lost control, and nearly hit the bus, and then stopped abruptly. Then there was silence. The driver then said, "Please don't do that again. You scared me." The passenger apologized and said, didn't think that like clapping could scare you so much." The driver then replied, "Sorry, it wasn't your fault. Today is my first day as a taxi driver. Previously, I was a hearse driver for 25 years." Okay, the purpose profession has been done for a long time. If you are the passenger, you understand why the driver is laughing at you, right?
A jealous rat. One day, a mother and her child from the rat race were chatting in the gutter. Not long after, suddenly a bat passed above them. Mouse boy, "Mom, what was that pass above us?" Mother, "Oh, that one was called a bat, mouse baby." "But Mom, how come his face looks like us?" Mother, "Yes, his face does look like us. He is also one of our countrymen. Only when he was in college, he majored in aviation."
Elementary school children go to heaven. Once, a number of students from one of the elementary schools were studying religion. Enthusiastically, a teacher named Udin is giving lessons that discuss heaven. After giving an explanation about heaven, the teacher again gave question to all his students. Here's the conversation. "Kids, who wants to go to heaven?" asked Udin. "I am, sir, I am," shouted of the students. All of the students who volunteered. Apparently there was one student named Uchok who did not start. This made the teacher ask again. Those who want to enter heaven show their hand. Udin asked again. I am, said the student as they raised their hand. Again, Puchok remained silent. In order to stimulate the spirit of his student, he asked again, those who want to enter heaven, please stand up. Hearing that, all of the students, except for Uchok, who remained silent and instead was busy with his own book. Feeling that some students were not enthusiastic, Udin approached Uchok and asked, Chok, do you want to go to heaven or not? Would you please, sir? Replied Uchok. Then why you don't stand up? Udin was curious. Well, do you really want to go now, sir? Andy and Rija are patients in a mental hospital. One day, when they were walking and passed the hospital swimming pool, Andy suddenly jumped into it. Apparently, the swimming pool is very deep. Because he is not good at swimming, Andy sinks to the bottom of the pool. Seeing this, Reza immediately jumped to save his friend. He swam to the bottom and pulled Andy out. Then the doctor came after knowing Reza's heroic action. The doctor allowed Reza to leave the mental hospital because he had recovered. The doctor said, Reza, we have good news and bad news for you. The good news is that you are mentally stable. And the bad news is that your friend you saved hanged himself in the bathroom and died. Andy replied, Doctor, Andy didn't hang himself. I hung him there to make him dry.
A Navy captain is alert by his first mate that there is a pirate ship coming toward his position. He asks a sailor to get him his red shirt. The captain was asked, why do you need a red shirt? The captain replies, so that when I bleed, you guys don't notice and aren't discouraged. They fight off the pirates eventually. The very next day, the captain is alert that 50 pirate ships are coming towards their boat. He yells, get me my brown pants!
A police dragged a man into a police station for running over 11 people while shooting monster, murderer, killer. The policeman dispersed the crowd and began to interrogate the suspect. The policeman said, tell me what happened. The suspect.
The child and his mother. A curious child asked his mother, Mommy, why are some of your hairs turning gray? The mother tried to use this accusation to teach her child. It is because of you, dear. Every bad action of yours will turn one of my hairs gray. The child replied innocently, now I know why grandmother has only gray hairs on her head.
At an art gallery, a woman and her 10-year-old son were having a tough time choosing between one of my paintings and another artist's work. They finally went with mine. I guess you decide you prefer an album sent to a flower. As I said, no, said the boy. Your painting's wider, so I will cover 3 holes in our wall. A salesman told talked my uncle into buying 10,000 personal pants for his business with the promise that he would be eligible to win 32-foot yacht. Upon gambler, my uncle agreed. Well, he won, and a few weeks after the pants arrived, his prize showed up. A 12-inch plastic yacht with 32 plastic feet glued to the bottom. So, the price is only a toy yacht with 32 plastic feet. My high school assignment was to ask a veteran about World War II. Since my father had served in the Philippines during the war, I chose him. After a few basic questions, I very gingerly asked, "Did you ever kill anyone?" Dad got quiet. Then, in a soft voice, he said, "Probably. I was the cook."
Meh. Meh. What master key means in the military? During orientation at Post in Oklahoma, a first sergeant stated that if anyone lost his locker key, to see him, as he kept a master key in his office. Sure enough, a few weeks later, I lost my key. I walked into the orderly's room and asked Sarge if I could borrow his master key. "Why, certainly, young man," he said, as he reached under his desk and handed me a large pair of board cutters.
Full old woman. So, the well-dressed gentleman as he watched an old man piss in a puddle outside a pub. So he invited the old man inside for a drink. As they sipped their whiskey, the gentleman thought he'd humor the old man and asked, "So, how many have you clubbed today?" The old man replied, "You are the age." So, the old man doing that just for getting some whiskey, not really getting some piss. I've been working on my PhD in engineering for the past 5 years, but my kids don't necessarily see that as work. As we were driving past Walmart one day, my son spotted a now hiring sign and suggested that I could get a job there. Hoping to make a point, I asked, "Do you think they are looking for an engineer?" "Oh, sure," he said. "They'll hire anybody."
One day in a school, the teacher asked, "Whoever answers my next question can go home." And then one boy throws his bag out of the window. The teacher then asked, "Who just threw that?" And one boy with black hair said, "Me, I'm going home now." A boy went to a girl sitting in library. The boy said, "Can I sit next to you?" The girl replied loudly, "I don't want to spend the night with you." Everybody stopped at that boy and he felt embarrassed and went to sit on another seat. Then the girl came to the boy and said,
I'm a psychology student, and I know that we're feeling impressed.
The boy replied loudly. $300 a night? That's too much. Everyone was now staring at the girl. This time, the girl felt embarrassed. The boy said, I'm a law student and I know how to make someone feel guilty.